So, what you can do when you're experiencing feeling something um like anger or frustration, like, and it's not like leaving it like you can't shake it. It's not this like momentary like, oh, I feel anger and now I'm feeling better. It's like this pervasive, or it's like continuing to grow. And you can take and do, it's like it's a form of meditation is what I figured out. um but like what I do, and I'll use this example because this is something I've been dealing with. Like for me, it's anger. It's like apparently I get to deal with anger right now. It's like I'm dealing with anger I didn't know I had. um and so a lot of times I'll just like put it off and put it off and put it off, but it comes to a point where I'm like, I don't like how I'm feeling, I need to like make time, and I will like make time, and I'll just come in and I'll just sit down. I'll sit someplace where it's quiet, where I just have some space for me, and I'll just sit and take a deep breath, and I'll just like focus in on that feeling of anger, which is really counterintuitive because we've all been taught that, you don't, that the way to deal with it is not to deal with it. And so, but that's not right. It's the way to address it, to like have it not affect you in 10 years, is to address it now. And so I'll come in and I'll sit down. I'll just tune into it. And I will just, which is going to be interesting because I just did this. And so I'm not feeling it now. And so I'll just tune into it, which actually feels really, okay, I better do something else because otherwise this is gonna like not really work. Okay, so what else have I been? Okay, frustration. I have some frustration that I've been having show up. So okay, so frustration. So it's like which is like really right in my face. It's like I'm gonna feel it. It's like, and I am. It's like I'm feeling it. It's like right here, and it's like really strong and just frustration. And so I'm just gonna feel it, and I'm gonna like let it be. And I'm it. I think a lot of people think that it's going to overwhelm them, but that's usually what happens when our emotions are chasing us because they want to be acknowledged and validated, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger so that we'll pay attention to them. But if we'll stop and pay attention to them, then they'll just like, they'll come up and they'll be stable and they won't overwhelm us. And so it's like, I'm feeling this frustration. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to just let it be. And I'm just going to like be with it. It's kind of like being with the elephant in the room. It's like you're finally going to acknowledge there's that freaking elephant in the room. And you're just going to be with it. You're not going to try and get the elephant out. You're not going to try and fix it as a problem. You're just going to just be with the elephant in the room or with your emotion. Okay. And then I feel like it's at like its maximum where it's like, okay, it is where it's going to be. And I did a breath and I released it. And it actually felt like it kind of subsided a little bit. So that's a good thing. And so once I've hit that point where it's either stable, as big as it's going to get, or where I've taken a breath and I felt it kind of like settle down a little bit, then I have something where it's like, I'm going to say, like, for me, I choose peace. I'm going to take another breath. I'm going to say it again. I choose peace. And I'm still staying focused on that frustration, but then I'm staying focused on the I choose peace as well. And I choose peace. And each time I do that, it subsides a little bit more, and it subsides a little bit more. And so what happens with this is it's kind of like the inner child is the big frustration. And it's like, I need the attention. I need the attention. And then the other part of me where it's like, I'm making a choice, that would be like the me coming from the higher perspective, the the wisdom of like having been through this life and I'm now on the other side and I see that there was no chaos and I know that everything was perfect and I have complete and total compassion for myself and I love myself and it's just coming from this angelic place of perfect love for myself and and it's this is the master. This is me as a master of my body, like my soul, like my true soul of I'm the master. It's that part of me that has matured enough as a soul that I can say that and choose that as a higher soul and that part of me that's here in the body that's veiled that has forgotten everything that is freaking out or frustrated or angry that I'm learning um it's me bringing that into harmony with that higher self and and it just helps to clear out some of those things. So you can do this with old stuff. I've done this with stuff like, oh my gosh, I threw a freaking temper tantrum. Like it was like me as a 5-year old, 4-year old, 6-year old, something like that. And it's like in my head, it was like the temper tantrum, and I'm like screaming, and I'm like, I am mad as all get out, and I'm frustrated, like the whole thing. And then like I just worked with it. It's like I just allowed it, and it calmed down, and it calmed down, and it calmed down, and it just melted away. So you can do this for old stuff, like especially with stuff that you're still working through. You can do this with current stuff, like, oh my gosh, there's so much current stuff, and I know I need to do some better self-care because I'm picking up on some things that I haven't known if this is like feelings I'm getting for me or if this is something from the community, but I'm recognizing that, well, maybe this is me picking up on what the community's feeling. And if that's what I'm picking up on, I need to do some work on myself because I shouldn't be picking up on stuff like that. I mean, it's not in my best interest to be picking up on stuff like that when I'm not doing sessions for people. It doesn't benefit anybody and it takes my energy from me. And so there's that, but there has been this something that is just like feeling like there's more shift coming in, and my concern is that like I need to make sure that you've got some tools, and that's been a super helpful one for me. So all right, I will talk with you later, and I hope you have a really good couple of weeks.